Welcome to Season 3 of Then We Cross America. Join us every Monday as we travel through the Southwest, spending most of our time in Arizona, popping into Nevada for just a little bit, before headed back home to California. We are Scout, Teddy, Matt, and Michelle. While towing our little house behind us, we explore the diverse beauty and culture of the United States. So please come join us and...
Then we cross America.
We're having a little bit of a later start today. It's 10:30 almost, and we are headed out to a couple national parks today, or national monuments today, which are national parks. They just have a different name.
Go see last week's podcast.
Yeah.
If you want to hear Michelle rant about it a bit.
Yeah. National monuments are parks too. Anyways, hashtag. That's our new hashtag.
If anybody knows of a t-shirt that says that's made of good quality, let us know in the comments below.
It's our new hashtag. National monuments are parks too. Anyways, we're headed to go see Tuesday Goats.
Tuesday Goot.
Which I don't know what that is, honestly. Don't tell me if you know what it is, because I'm going to find out. And we are headed to see Montezuma's Castle, which I have been to before. I think.
We are also headed to Montezuma as well, which she has not been to before.
You know, I think maybe I sat in the car. I think maybe my family went to Montezuma as well, and I was being a jerk, because I was like 15. And I was on vacation with my parents. So I was being a 15-year-old who's on vacation with my parents. A little bit surly. So, anyways, we stopped. Matt got coffee. I just poked my head around the visitor center a little bit. It was fine. It was lots of pamphlets. I've been in better visitor centers. I've been in worse visitor centers. I think Sedona has a better visitor center than the one we poked our head into. So maybe tomorrow we'll stop into that one. I'm not sure. But right now we're just driving along in Sedona, like experiencing these beautiful red rocks. Sedona is really a beautiful place. We're about as high as you can get right now in Tuesday Goat. This is one of the biggest pueblos in the area. Do you remember how many rooms it said?
I don't off the top of my head now.
It was a lot. It was like a couple dozen or more rooms, I think. Usually you can go a little bit higher, but right now because the water that they've had, the rain, they're having to like reconstruct and fix it up so it's not dangerous. So we're about as high as you can get. And I was in the visitor center earlier and read something really interesting. The way that these worked is they built at the top of hills first. This whole area of Arizona about 1,500 years ago was just full of people living here. And they started building at the top of the hills, and the more important you were in the community, the higher on the hill you lived. And so as it goes down, the buildings get smaller, and the just kind of progressively goes down the hill. So the ones at the top are the oldest, because that's where they started, because it meant that they could see the fellow communities around them, like with fire, they could communicate and stuff. And also none of the flatlands got compromised, and they could farm it. It didn't take up any of that farming land, which was pretty cool.
Probably also protected them from flooding.
Yeah, exactly. That's the next step, is like it, or the next point is it protected them from flooding, and also mosquitoes. Mosquitoes live down there. Mosquitoes don't live up here. So that was really interesting.
Wild.
You ready to end this?
Yes.
All right. The last time we talked to the camera, we were at Tuzigut.
Yes.
Talking about the cool pueblos and how they're built. So they starting at the top and then they get newer as they go further down. Scout's leaving. Goodbye, Scout. Teddy's humping. Teddy, don't do that.
So we learned one very important thing near the end of our visit to Tuzigut. I noticed that all of the rooms, I should say, none of the rooms have doorways.
There's a couple that had like right like the outside, but not very many.
And there are a lot of rooms on the inside that don't seem to have any way to get into them. So we went back into the ranger station. She's caught on the cord on her back foot.
We went into the ranger
We
station.
went back into the ranger station and asked them, how do they get in and out? And
Yeah, because there's no door.
so apparently they would walk onto the roof, walk over to their room, and go through a hatch in the roof. They had a ladder that went down through the hatch and into their room.
Yeah.
And it was important because that same hatch, as I understand it, also functioned as their exhaust vent during the summer.
Hole.
Yeah, during the summer it would let the heat out. During the winter it would let the smoke out from their fire.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then we headed to lunch because it was lunchtime. Coquina? Maybe I'm totally wrong. We went to a Mexican food place in Cottonwood.
Yes.
It was good. They went hard on the Sugar Skull theme.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. It was fun. And the food was really good. It was really good food.
Really good food, yeah.
I mean, I feel like it was just basic Mexican food.
Yeah.
But it was really tasty. I really enjoyed it. And then we had a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah, so we were going to go to two other sites, both part of Montezuma Castle. There's the Montezuma Castle National Monument, and then there's Montezuma Well. And because today is New Year's Eve, I guess it's the eve of New Year's 2020.
Yeah, so
it's 2019 currently, going to be 2020 tomorrow.
It's December 31st,
Yeah.
2019.
They closed down early. They closed at 2 p.m. and we got there at 1:55.
Yeah, we got there just as they were closing the gates. So we couldn't go in. We were kind of bummed. We drove all this way. We wanted to get our passport sticker and a stamp, and we wanted to experience this monument because we had big dreams. We're going to hit all the 5 monuments within a day's drive of Grand Canyon. And so we only hit 4 over the last couple days. So we were kind of bummed.
A little bit. I mean, we still did great. We really appreciate the monuments we've seen, and I think that we're going to push through, and I think we're still going to see it before we leave.
It's kind of hard to be too bummed here because it's just so pretty.
Yes.
Everywhere you look is so beautiful.
Especially now that we're out of the frigid cold.
Yeah, it's warm. It was 55 today,
Yes.
which sounds cold to us Californians, but not after
gorgeous.
a week in Grand Canyon, 17 degrees or whatever it was every day.
When we were out in the sun, it was, I was in t-shirts and jeans. And
I was in a t-shirt and just a hoodie. When in the Grand Canyon, I had a base layer, then a t-shirt, then a sweater, then a hoodie, then a coat.
Yeah.
So it was so beautiful. And we were a little bit bummed for a minute or two. And then we realized that we were probably going to be able to squeeze in seeing Montezuma Castle on the 2nd. So day after tomorrow. Hopefully we'll make it there.
As we leave the area, we'll stop by.
Yeah, because they're closed tomorrow, because tomorrow is New Year's Day for us. But then we kind of headed back to the RV. Oh, we stopped at the National Forest.
Yeah, there's a visitor center for the Red Rock Scenic Byway, and most of the area out around Sedona is National Forest. It's Coconino National Forest. So they have a big visitor center where you can get oriented and help for where to hike, and there's actually a little fee that you have to pay if you're going to park around the National Forest, so you can pay that fee and do all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was pretty there.
Yeah.
And then we headed back here and just chilled out, and then
Played with the dogs.
Played with the dogs. Headed to dinner at a really funky. So, just a minute, Teddy boy. Come here, bud. Just a minute. We headed to dinner at a really funky, new agey, vegetarian, vegan place. It was
called Choco Tree.
Yeah.
And it was
Chocolate Tree.
Yeah. And it was they had a lot of vegetarian and vegan chocolates. So I guess vegetarian doesn't mean much, but vegan chocolates. Some of them had honey, but I think all of them were without milk. It seemed, or almost
seemed like it. Yeah.
Almost all of them, if not all of them. were without milk, and they had a full restaurant. So there's eat-in when the weather's nice. They have a large patio where you can eat outside.
Yeah, and the food was good. There was some of the food we were like, we can taste the health.
Yeah, it was.
It was a little too. What I say, one of the. So, like I said, it's very new age. It was good food, and if you eat vegan or vegetarian, it's a good place to check out here because Sedona's all about this new age stuff.
Yeah, it's so like oftentimes if you're eating vegan and you go to a restaurant, your option is a veggie burger.
Yeah.
Which when you're at home, you almost never make yourself a veggie burger. At least we don't make ourselves veggie burgers at home very often. So when we eat out, it's like, oh, okay, veggie burger, blah. That's just not what we really eat normally. So going to a restaurant...
And also, it's like when you're on vacation, you don't want 6 veggie burgers during your week-long vacation.
Right.
1 or 2 is fine, but eventually you're like, give me something else.
Yeah. So going to a restaurant that has a fully developed menu of vegan items is nice, especially a lot of them are kind of more in line with what we would cook at home, normal, I would say normal vegan food.
Yeah. But so... it's very new agey, like I said. Sedona's all about the new age stuff. And one of the ingredients in the cookies was devotional. Yeah. And a lot of them, their ingredients were love.
Yes.
So we were leaving, and I was like, it was really good, but I could taste the devotional. Just could taste the fiber and stuff. It wasn't bad. It was just
healthy.
Healthy, yeah.
In the good and the bad ways. I mean,
yeah.
Sometimes when you go out and you want to be treated, you don't necessarily want healthy. But it was pretty tasty, especially for being healthy.
Yeah. So we came back here and we are about to record the podcast. If you're not listening, you should go check out anywhere you listen to podcasts, Then We Cross America, the podcast. And I think that's it for tonight.
That's all. Thanks, everybody.
We will talk to you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.